Hello friends, Adam here with FED. Divine Pulse is back, or Miller's Turnwheel is back, or whatever you want to call it, in the form of the Dragon's Time Crystal, or I believe that's just the rough translation at this point. That might change with an official localization. But anyways, you can reverse time in Fire Emblem Engage, and there's quite the bit of uproar with it. Some people are really in favor, some people are very anti, and there's a very passionate two camps. I'll get more into where I fall later on that, but I wanted to go over some of the stuff in this trailer first before we get into that. Specifically about this time rewind mechanic. There's all this cool stuff on this map too. They are showing a pretty late game map. Looks pretty nifty. Another appearance of a monster. We actually get to find out if you go to this screen, I use Google Translate, so I don't know how accurate it is, but this up here, it doesn't just say, it says 6 and then a bunch of Japanese text. It says the objective is to kill the 6 remaining enemy generals, or 6 generals, which I think is cool. I like that that's an objective that's it's kill boss, but you know, more robust. I don't know, I'm into that. Anyways, Divine Pulse, or Miller's Turnwheel, or Dragon's Time Stone. Let's talk about it. Alright, so we see Hortensia, or whatever her name is, takes an arrow to the dome like an idiot. I don't know who was decided it was an okay idea to place her in the range of an archer. They have aggro lines after all, so there's really no reason to have done that. And then we keep going forward. We see some, design purple. Ooh. Then they can go back as far as they want, as far as we know, at the very least. And then in the bottom left corner, just above the play button there, it says infinite. And again, I use Google Translate. Essentially, it's uses of the Dragon's Time Stone that you have. And it says infinite. So I don't know if that means you can go back an infinite amount of turns, or if that means you have infinite uses of the mechanic in general. Now, I don't think there's going to be infinite uses of it on, like, higher difficulties, but I could see them just giving you infinite uses of this mechanic on, like, casual mode, or maybe even on normal, or maybe it has to be a combo of normal and casual and you just get an infinite amount of Divine Pulse. I could see that being the case, and that would make sense to me. I don't see, if someone's playing on casual mode, I don't see any reason why they can't just rewind as many times as they want. They're obvious. If you're playing like normal casual mode, you're probably not too worried about like the intense strategic mechanics of it, and thus probably aren't looking to be rewarded for playing well in that way necessarily, but more like just want to get through the story and see the numbers go up on your characters and things like that. Right. Anyways, we see it happen. Take back one move at a time, just like it is a Divine Pulse. Except I like that. I feel like it's communicated a little better there with the little sprites and stuff. Yeah, so overall, I don't think this, I think it looks good at the very least. I don't know. I don't think it's that crazy. I do like the unlimited uses for like casual mode or lower difficulty. But overall, Divine Pulse, should it be here? Should it be here? The answer to that question is, in my humble opinion, 100% yes. Oh, you might hear some baby noises. Sorry, she's chilling with me right now. There is no reason not to have it in this game. It is such a big deal for accessibility, and it's so good for getting new players into the game. Fire Emblem can be really intimidating, especially when permadeath is considered. And getting into it as a new fan is like, well, I don't want to lose all my colorful, fun characters, especially when they're been trending lower on like the amount of units they give you as Fire Emblem's gotten older, or newer entries have been coming out, right? 3 houses being kind of a low point as far as how many units you can recruit on a playthrough, comparing it to games like Shadow Dragon or The Binding Blade or Path of Radiance or Radiant Dawn, where there's just like a bazillion units to use, so if someone dies, there's a replacement. There isn't much of that going on in, say, Fates or even Awakening, or even, and again, 3 houses, right? Now, I think we're going to see something similar to that here. I don't think there's going to be as many playable characters as there were in previous games or older games in the series, because there's just less of a focus on permadeath. in general. So the big thing is like people talk about, oh, well, wasn't what the heck isn't Three Houses designed around Divine Pulse or whatever? And I think that's taking it a bit too far to say it that way. I've said that in the past. I've said like, oh yeah, it's, you know, with the ambush spawns and ambush reinforcements and stuff, Divine Pulse is definitely made with the intent to help you around these situations. But I think it's less of like the map was designed with Divine Pulse in mind. It was oh, the player has Divine Pulse, so we can kind of mess with them, or we can make some less than fair decisions as far as ambush spawns or just reinforcements in general go. So I think to say that, again, to say that Three Houses was designed around Divine Pulse is a little ignorant, but also to say that it's 100% optional or totally optional, especially not like maddening, it's also a bit ridiculous to say. The truth is definitely somewhere in the middle, right? I think it's more accurate to say that, yes, Divine Pulse definitely influenced how the game was made, and thus the developers expect you to take advantage of it. Now, these are all just my opinions. I could be totally wrong. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think that Divine Pulse in Three Houses was like not a, was it a bad thing? Has it been bad for the series in general? Do you think it is a good thing that it's in Fire Emblem Engage? Let me know. And again, my final thoughts, just like really like put my opinion on the table. I think rewind mechanics in Fire Emblem are ultimately incredibly good for getting new players in, and that's what we as a community should want. We should want to have as many new players joining the community as possible, because a thriving community means essentially just like guarantees, or I shouldn't say guarantees, but it makes it more likely that we'll get more games in the future. Number one, more people play this, the more willing they are to make more Fire Emblem. Number two, it just increases the discourse and the fun conversations that we can have with other people. I think that's a really important thing to consider. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that stuff, and I will catch you next time.